Kate. I know that this is probably like an unfamiliar face by now. It's like, oh my god, who did I subscribe to? Who are you again? Oh, right, that's you. Yeah, so I didn't make any videos for a year, but I would like to return now to make more book videos if that is allowed, which it totally is allowed because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want with it. But I'd love it if you stick around. If you unsubscribe, it'll hurt my feelings for about 2 seconds, but I'll get over it, I promise. So let's get down to business. Today I want to talk about my top 5 favorite books of 2019 so far. Tell me why I almost said 2015. That was a long time ago. Anyways, I have been on top of my reading game this year. I don't think I've been this good at reading. That's not a good sentence. I don't think I've been this like prolific in my reading for a couple of years now. The first book I want to talk about is Martian by Andy Weir. This took me by surprise so much because I didn't expect to like it that much. I haven't really read that much sci-fi, and so I thought it might be a little overwhelming. I'd heard it is very sciencey, and to be fair, yeah, it is really sciencey. It really is. And it is a little bit much at first, but then once you get used to the language, it is so funny and it's just so impressive to me. This book is like so accurate, so well thought out. Like if somebody actually did in our world in the near future go to Mars, how would this pan out and what's the worst case scenario almost, but then turns into something else. I don't know how to explain it really, but it was really, really good. And I did watch the movie also, and I thought the movie was spectacular as well. I guess if you were looking for the shortcut, the movie's a pretty good shortcut. It's pretty accurate to the book, only a couple like discrepancies in there, but they weren't major to where I did not like the movie. I loved the movie too. Andy Weir, this is an accomplishment. Like apparently it was just published on like for free online before he made it into an actual book and posted on Kindle for the lowest possible price, just because of popular demand. But this is an incredible book. If you're looking for something different and you're like me and haven't read much sci-fi, this is probably a good pick. The next book I want to talk about is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is of course a very popular book and I owned it for a very long time and didn't read it until now, until this summer. This book follows Kath and her transitioning into college, her first year of college, and she has a twin sister named Ren, and they're similar but have different kind of ambitions for college. Kath just wants to continue writing her fan fiction while Ren wants to get out there and experience more. And it's kind of just following both of their journeys and how they evolve over the course of their first year in college. And I found it to be super cute, and especially for me coming out of my first year of college, this was like the perfect time to read this book pretty much because it reflected my own experiences in some ways. And I mean, obviously her experiences are a little bit different, but there are elements, many elements that I could relate to, and I really appreciated that. And yeah, this is a really good book. Probably one of the longest contemporaries I've read. It's like, what, like 500 or something, 450, I don't know, but it's more pages than I thought it would be. But I flew through it and I really appreciate this book. The next book I want to talk about is The Healing by Jonathan Odell. I don't know if this is a well-known book or not. I picked it up at like a random book sale, and honestly I didn't expect anything because I'd never heard of it before, which is sad that I think that way, but I mean it is. But it was really, really good. So this book is about a woman named Granada, and it flashes back between her early childhood and her elderly years. And it takes place on a southern plantation, and Granada is a slave. There's also a sort of magical element in this book, but I wouldn't really say it's magical. Granada is training to be like kind of a healer in a sense, but it's more of like spiritual healing. But it's really interesting, and the language is really beautiful, and there are a lot of like philosophical quotes in here that you're like, yes, I like that. That is cool. This was an unexpected hit for me, and I would definitely recommend it. I think this deserves more recognition. So yeah, The Healing by Jonathan Odell. The next book that I have is definitely another fan favorite. It is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I picked this up for the booktubeathon, which I participated in even though I didn't like make videos during it. Yeah, so I picked this up for that and I absolutely loved it. This might be my favorite book of the year so far. This book is about a girl named Ava Lavender who has a twin brother named Henry. Yeah, Henry. I thought I got his name wrong for a second. Twin brother named Henry, and Ava is born with wings and Henry is somewhat mute. And it's just kind of it's a very strange book, hence the title. But the prose is just to die for. It is beautiful, lyrical. It's just a joy to read. And it just kind of recounts her family history leading into her life, but the way in which it's told makes it feel like the characters are so vivid, and just, even though each character is realistic, they have some element of whimsy with them, and it carries them throughout the book. So yeah, I understand the hype with this book, I really do. The last book that is definitely in my top 5 favorite books of this year so far is Immortal Reign by Morgan Rhodes. That's the author. I finally finished the Fallen Kingdom series. I read the first 4 books in this series, I want to say 2 years ago now. And I went 2 years just without finishing the series. I have no idea why, because it's a really, really good series. And I felt that the last 2 books definitely did the whole series justice. And yeah, just quality fantasy, action-packed. The one thing I really love about this series is that every single chapter has a purpose. And even at first, if it seems like this chapter is unnecessary or okay, it's just fluff, it turns into something. It becomes important later, or 2 pages later even. It's really cool like that. And I appreciate the large cast of characters that all have dynamic personalities. It's just a good series. If you like fantasy and you haven't read the Fallen Kingdom series, 10 out of 10. Well, okay, maybe 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it's not my favorite fantasy series ever, but it's really good. So those are my top 5 favorite books of 2019 so far. I'd like to see which of them carry into my favorite books of the year later. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, so I hope to continue making more videos on this channel soon. Yeah, thank you for watching this if you stuck around. Okay, bye.